grandfather clock. Grandfather clock lives in Tick-Tock cottage. He's a nice old chap, and everybody likes him, particularly because of one thing he can do which nobody else can do. He can tell you the time. Now, that doesn't sound like something nobody else can do, does it? But grandfather clock doesn't tell you the time like other people tell you the time. Oh no, he turns into the time. Just like that. Early one morning, grandfather clock was fast asleep in his bedroom at Tick-Tock cottage. A bird started singing outside his bedroom window, and that woke him up. Oh, he yawned. I wonder what time it is. And he turned himself into the time and looked at himself. The big hand pointed to his number 12. The little hand pointed to his number 5. Oh no, he groaned. It's only 5 o'clock, and that's much too early to get up. So he turned himself back into himself and turned over and went back to sleep. Later, he awoke again. This time, the big hand pointed to his top, and the little hand pointed to number 7. That's better, he said. 7 o'clock. And that's getting up time. So he got up. Grandfather clock had a boiled egg for breakfast. Boiled for exactly 4 minutes. It's quite useful being a clock as well as a person. And after breakfast, he went for a walk. He met Farmer Smiles on his way to market. Can you tell me the time, please? Smiled Farmer Smiles. Certainly, replied Grandfather Clock. His big hand pointed to his top, and his little hand pointed to his number 9. Oh dear, said Farmer Smiles, not smiling. It's 9 o'clock. I'm late for market. And off he rushed. Grandfather Clock walked all morning. He walked until the little hand had moved from number 9 to number 12. Both hands were pointing to his number 12. Hello, said old Mrs. Chuckle, who was looking over the garden hedge. It's 12 o'clock. That's lunchtime, said Grandfather Clock. That's right, chuckled Mrs. Chuckle, and invited him in for lunch. That afternoon, Grandfather Clock continued his walk. He was passing a school when the teacher put his head out of a window. I know what you're going to ask me, grinned Grandfather Clock, and he turned himself into the time. The big hand pointed to his top, and the little hand pointed to his number 4. 4 o'clock, said the teacher. Home time, shouted all the children in his class. Grandfather Clock walked along with 2 of the children from the school. Is it true you can turn yourself into the time? They asked. Definitely, he smiled. Will you come home with us and show us? They asked. Certainly, he laughed. Later, he showed them how he could turn into the time. The big hand's pointing to your top, cried the boy. "And your little hand's pointing to 7," cried the girl. "And that means it's 7 o'clock," said Grandfather Clock. "And that means it's bath time," said the children's mother. "Come along." After their bath, the children put on their pajamas, and Grandfather Clock read them a story. "What time is it now?" they asked when he had finished. Grandfather Clock showed them. "The big hand's pointing to your top," said the girl. "But your little hand's moved on to your number 8, said the boy. "So the time is 8 o'clock, said Grandfather Clock. "So it's bedtime," said the children's mother. The children went to bed, and Grandfather Clock went home. By the time he arrived back at Tick-Tock Cottage, the big hand was pointing to his top, and the little hand was pointing to his number 10. 10 o'clock, and that's late. It was so late, and he was so tired after walking all day, he went straight to bed. In fact, he was so tired. Do you know how long Grandfather Clock slept for? Right round the clock.